these key questions. I've often talked to schools and they say, oh yes, we have PLCs. I say, oh, you do? Tell me about your PLCs. Well, we meet every Tuesday from 8 to 9. Well, you know what? That's a good activity in your PLC process. We tend to use PLCs as a noun, professional learning communities. And that's fine if you want to use it as a label, but it's all about a process. And meeting together on Tuesday from 8 to 9 is part of that process, but it is not the whole process. So when those people can easily say, you know, we've been doing PLCs for a year and we haven't seen the progress that we thought we would. That's because you've been doing one part of PLC. It's the more intensive process that we have to look at. When I've been asked to work with some individuals that are operating as a professional learning community, I will ask these questions. So what are you learning? And sometimes I'm surprised at how they can't answer that. But you just told me you're a professional learning community. So what are you learning? Why are you learning that? Why have you selected that information to learn? And then, what are you doing with that learning? This is what learning communities are about. So we are learning more about a certain strategy because why do we select it? Because that is where our students continue to struggle. So we need to learn about how can we implement, how can we teach that strategy at a higher level so that our students don't continue to struggle. The whole idea behind the concept of professional learning communities is, as we said, learning for adults, but it's learning with intention. So we don't